Hello and welcome to yet another episode, and I say yet another because it's only the second, but yet another episode of Nerdy Tech Talk, and today we are going to be talking about OS X Lion, the world's most advanced desktop operating system advances even further. OS X Lion is actually very similar to iOS. It has many similar features, actually, that we're going to get into. And so we're just going to start right off with, I think, the biggest change, which is mission control. So mission control here, there's an icon on your dock when you first install OS X Lion. You could set it for a hot corner, or you can take either 3 or 4 fingers, which can be configured in settings, and slide up with those 3 fingers. And this is mission control. Mission control is like a combination of spaces and expose. Up here, at the top, you have a bunch of different desktops or spaces. And here's like your expose, where it shows all the different applications you have running. So let's say I want to switch over to my first desktop. Here's desktop 1. I have preview, and I have QuickTime Player. I have all these things running. So let's say I want to open iChat in desktop 1. I just click it. Now, let's say I don't want this with my Nerdy Tech Talk stuff. I could just drag it up here, and it could be put in its own little desktop 3. You can create up to 18 different desktops, which is really convenient when you're working on multiple things, because to switch through them, all you have to have is 3 fingers and slide either way. Now, you could switch through them in the actual mission control like this, or let's say you pick a desktop to scroll through them, 3 fingers to either side. So anyways, back to mission control. It's adding a desktop is really as simple as this, and you can actually, with each different desktop, you could change your background. You have to do that individually, of course, and which is a pain, but I'll show you. Black and white, dramatic backgrounds, la 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 la, seamless. Alright, so, as you can see, that's the only desktop it changed, and if I close that one out, no more sea mist. And let's say I have iChat running desktop 3. If I close desktop 3, iChat will just move into desktop 1 or wherever. I'm just going to close that now because... So, closing a desktop is simple as pressing the X that comes up here. You could also easily get to your dashboard here. That's another cool feature. Another way to get to mission control is by hitting the old expose button, or F3. That's pretty cool too. Hey guys, just to let you know, Apple is actually now changing the keyboards to adapt to OS X Lion. If you look on the left, you'll see one of the new keyboards. F3 there is a mission control button, which is new, and F4 there is a launchpad button, which we'll get to in a second, which is also new. If you look on the right, we see the old keyboard, where F3 is an expose button, and F4 is a dashboard button. Now, if you get an old keyboard, F3 will still work for mission control, but F4 will not work for launchpad. MacBook Air is shipping out with the new keyboards, and keyboards individually are shipping out like that, but we're going to have to wait for the MacBook Pro to catch up on this, possibly till next year, but I will keep you posted on that. So yeah, that's just a little interesting fact. It's just F3, or the old expose button. So, next thing we're going to get into is Launchpad. Launchpad is like the home screen of iOS. Here you see the Launchpad icon. If you take 3 fingers and your thumb and you make a little pinch in, here you are brought to Launchpad. Again, very similar to the iOS home screen. And to scroll through Launchpad, it's just 2 fingers to either way. Either side, I should say. And it's very similar to the iOS. Like, for example, if I wanted to take After Effects and After Effects Render Engine and put them in a folder, same as the iOS, you just drag, click to retitle, After Effects. And then there it is, and if you want to take it out of the folder, it just went over there, oh well. There we go. Click and hold on an application, and it's very similar to the iOS. You'll get the little dancing icons at the party. You'll get the dancing icons. And so let's say I downloaded something like an application and I wanted to delete it. But this only works with apps from the App Store, so I could just hit that little X to delete it. And you could also get to there by pressing and holding the option button. Alright. Installing Twitter. Right there to Launchpad. Now to open an application, it's simple as one click. But I don't want Twitter, I don't have a Twitter. And to close an application, you know how to close an application, but let's say I want to delete it. Just hit the X and delete. Another cool feature is you can take one of your applications and drag it straight to your dock. So, for example, let's say I want iCal on my dock, because I don't have iCal on my dock right now. I could drag it, and not only is it on my dock, but it also stays in Launchpad. Now we're going to talk about gestures. So, again, 3 fingers to either side will swipe through your applications. Double tap to zoom. With 2 fingers, of course, you have to double tap. And you could also do the little opposite of pinch to zoom, like you take 2 fingers and pinch them outside, zoom in, up, and then zoom out. Alright, now, let's say I wanted to go back 1 page. You could always drag over here to the back button, or you could take 2 fingers and slide, and that's an easy way to navigate between web pages, just sliding back and forth. Other gestures include 3 fingers up for mission control, 4-finger pinch, or 3-finger and a thumb, for Launchpad, 3-finger and thumb pinch outward for desktop. To scroll, it's like the iOS, in the sense that you do the 2 fingers like the previous OS, but in the previous OS, if you slid them down, you would go down. Now it's like, I guess Apple calls it natural. I don't know how natural it is. I'll show you what I mean. Let's get over here to trackpad. Scroll and zoom. Right, so if you see, she slid her fingers down, but it went up. This is like on the iOS, like on the iPod. But this is how it was previously on previous versions of OS. Most people do not actually like the natural, as it's called, which is what I'm using right now, which is what the iOS is like. But I think if you get used to it, it's actually a lot more convenient sometimes. So other gestures. Zoom in or out, you pinch with 2 fingers. Smart zoom, double tap with 2 fingers. And rotate. You can kind of rotate with 2 fingers, I guess that's what it's called. To swipe between pages on websites and stuff, it's 2 fingers either way. To swipe between full screen apps, it's 3 fingers. Mission control is 3 fingers up. 3 fingers down, you can set to expose. I actually do not have that on. That's the default. Launchpad, you pinch with thumb and 3 fingers, like that. And this is how you show desktop. Other way around. Point and click. Tap to click, I don't have that on. Secondary click, if you click with 2 fingers, it right clicks. Oh, and this is another cool feature. Look up. If you double tap a word with 3 fingers, it'll look it up on the dictionary. Ooh, look at the little Apple definition. I didn't know that was there. And Wikipedia and Apple, apparently. So, let's say I don't know what upgrade means. 3 fingers, double click. Look at that. Okay, so that's gestures.